Well, let's talk about the two problems that we're going to face now that it's going to be warming up in the fall. Why it's not a good thing. It sounds good, but here's the problem. What's going to happen? The first thing, bees are going to go out and fly. And so as they go out foraging, there's nothing out there for them to go get. It's going to be a time when bees are going to really consume their stored resources. The more warmer it is, the bees are going to be more active. Already today at about 49 degrees right now, the bees are actually flying a little bit. What are they doing? They're looking for anything they can. But if they're flying, that means they're not clustered anymore. And so what they're actually doing is consuming all the stored resources that we want them to have for the winter. That's going to be a problem if they get rid of that before winter hits. The second thing that we're faced with, now that bees are out foraging a little bit, guess what? Look around. There's nothing out there. So what are they going to do? They're going to rob. They're not foraging, they're robbers. They're going to go out and rob any other hive they can gain access to. So that presents a second problem. Bees are going to consume all their food during this warm spell, and they're going to be out robbing any weak or vulnerable colonies that you have. So we need to talk about how to protect your bees. Hey, I'm here, guys, to help you learn how to protect your bees, how to keep healthier bees. And what I want you to do is please subscribe, because it's important that you know every new video that I make is designed. I go to the trouble to create content to help you do a good job at beekeeping. So let's jump right into what do we do now to protect our bees. So let's talk about protecting our bees. Now this can happen not just in the next few days in the fall, but it can actually happen anytime in the winter. So this is a good thing to learn right now at the bat. First thing we need to think about is we need to feed our bees. Now, if it warms up like this, the best thing to do is to feed our bees, in my opinion, is 1-to-1 sugar water. I just want them to continue to raise bees of winter physiology. Now, if you want to feed, if you're just somebody that wants to feed 2-to-1, 2 parts sugar, 1 part water, because that's what you've historically done forever, I understand that. That will help them bulk up a little bit. But my go-to method is to always feed them 1-to-1 so they can raise more brood. It stimulates the colony just to raise a little bit more brood. The thinner that honey source is, or the nectar source is, like in the spring with nectar coming in. And I just need a lot of bees of winter physiology. So even now, that's what I'm still trying to do. The second thing we can do to protect our hive is not only feed them, but do not do an inspection. You're going to be real tempted to inspect your colony because it's warming up. Now we're going to barely get warm enough to inspect. We're going to be right at about 62 degrees Fahrenheit, and that's really not warm enough to start pulling up frames of capped pupae. It could cause chill brood and kill the bees of winter physiology that you're trying to raise. The other reason it's bad to do an inspection in the fall, this time of the year, is if you accidentally kill your queen, there's no replacing her. It's just too late in the year. So be very careful not to do an inspection. And also, by doing an inspection, look, you're going to induce robbing. We've already explained why robbing is so potential this time of the year, this season, when there's nothing out there to forage on. So if you start doing an inspection, just beware that bees are going to immediately from other colonies detect there's a hive open, and they're going to want to go in there and rob that out. Now, the third thing that I want to tell you guys what you can do to help protect your bees right now is understand that when you start feeding them 1-to-1 or 2-to-1 sugar water, you don't want to keep the feeders on there once it reaches 50 degrees Fahrenheit or below, or that would be 10 degrees Celsius. Once you reach that 50 degrees Fahrenheit, 10 degrees Celsius, that's a point when bees really are starting to cluster, and they're not likely to consume that sugar water. And my philosophy is that if my bees are going to be consuming sugar water, I want them to be able to take cleansing flights to get rid of it. And so if they don't have that option because they're clustered, I don't like giving them sugar water. Now, it's a little too early for me to put my winter bee kind boards on, but it's just a time right now that I think we can take advantage of a warm up and feed them something, because they're looking, they're flying, right? But as soon as it cools off again, and as you can see on my temperature, on my forecast here, it is going to cool off soon. That's when you want to pull the feeders off. Now, before I share my fourth tip with you guys, let me encourage you to know that we have our online classes available at half price on Black Friday. Now the fourth tip I want to share with you guys is really all about, I know you got to do an inspection, maybe you have to put some Forming Pro on, or maybe where you live is a little bit warmer and you have to do an inspection. Hey, if you got to inspect the fall, I got a video for you. Here it is right here. Be careful because you can do a lot of bad harm to your bees in the fall. Let's take a look at this video. I'll help you.